Today we're going to be talking about how to get your trailer set up to avoid getting your anchor, your windlass anchor, snagged on the bow roller on your trailer. Depending on what ramp I go to, that anchor will sometimes want to get snagged onto the roller, and what I end up having to do is take the trailer not so deep into the water and then backing off. That's what I have to do, and power reverse and get the boat off the trailer. It takes a good bit of throttle to get it off, and then coming onto the trailer, I have to keep the trailer more out of the water than I usually would. Come onto the trailer, let the hull sit onto the bunks a little bit to where the bow gets raised up, then push the trailer back a couple feet, and then bring the boat further up and all the way onto the trailer. So I'm sure other people that have a windlass anchor set up like so possibly run into the same issues. Did a bit of research, looked at a lot of different parts, talked to the local trailer manufacturer, and it looks like the solution is to take my winch stand and everything, move all of that further forward, probably right around here, and then the trailer jack I'll have to move a little bit further forward. From there, trailer jack will go from there to probably right around there, and then the mount, the feet for the winch stand and the bow roller will probably end up right there. And then in place of it, we'll use a bow stop, bow cradle, CowCatcher, people call them different things, and we'll install it here, point it up towards the bow. It'll probably line up somewhere around here, ideally somewhere in that range, and that'll be our bow stop. And then once we get the anchor moved, obviously the bow and the bow eye and everything will still be in the same spot, so our winch line will end up coming across there to about here, which is fine, but we have to make sure to do at that point. I always put a strap from here to the trailer, to the hook there. The strap should always be on. A lot of people run without them. If you end up doing this modification and you're not used to using a strap on your bow, you have to put one on. You really need to keep that bow pulled down so that it's not bouncing around on the trailer as you're driving down the road. So first thing I'm going to do is get the new bow stop loosely put on, get it positioned correctly, get it sort of put on there where it needs to be. Then I'll loosen the winch stand and everything and move that backwards. You're also going to need the correct size U-bolts, preferably in stainless steel if it's on a boat trailer and you're getting in the water, and the lock nuts and washers and everything. These do not come with most BowCatchers. I'll put a link in the description for where I bought this particular BowCatcher. I really like the quality of it. There's a lot of cheaper ones you can buy. This one is not terribly expensive, and it's got the loop for your emergency strap already built in, so you don't have to wrap around the trailer beam. And overall, it's very thick gauge steel. It's galvanized, going to last a long time. And then the same with the U-bolts. I'll put the link in the description for those as well. All right, I've got it loosely mounted. It's still loose, so I can move it around. I didn't get to film this part, but whenever you're putting the bottom portion of the leg that attaches to the frame on, especially if you're by yourself, you don't have a second set of hands, take this top section off to take the weight off, and that way the foot will sit flat and you'll be able to, with two hands and one person, put the U-bolts through and get some nuts on there and started. And then after that, put the leg attachment on there that has the bow stop built in. So now what we're going to do is take this guy, slide it as far forward, or I'm sorry, backward as possible towards the boat, get it nice and firm up against the bow, and then once it's in place, then I'm going to tighten down the lock nuts on the U-bolts. We've got the bow stop firmly up against there. I pushed it up as far as it will go. So put some force on it. Make sure you're very tight against the bow. That way your boat remains in the same position it currently is, as long as it's set up correctly. If you have to make adjustments as far as how backwards or forwards your boat sits on the trailer, right now is the time to do so. So I've got that set up. And next thing I'm going to do is get my electric impact and tighten down these nuts. Now that those U-bolts are tight, I went ahead and tightened the set screw as well. Don't forget that, or else this entire thing will shift downwards as soon as you start driving and you hit the brakes. So make sure you tighten that as well. Now we're going to loosen up our winch stand. We've got 6 U-bolts on this one, pair up there, pair up here, and back here. We're gonna get those all loosened up and move it over to this part of the trailer. And then we're gonna take the jack and move it forward from there. Now we've got the winch stand moved forward. I have the step on here. I'm probably gonna take this off and figure out a different way to do a step later on down the line. Not really useful to step from there all the way to there. But went ahead and moved that all the way forward. And now what we're gonna do is remount our trailer jack, and we're going to do that right there in that little space left over. I guess we could also mount it here, but I don't think there's going to be enough room there between the frame rails. It's going to be a little bit too tight. Yeah, it's definitely going to be too tight. So we'll mount it there, and that should be the last of what we need to do as far as the hardware and moving things around, torquing things down. And then we're gonna get our winch strap attached back to the bow eyelet, get everything set up and pulled in tight, and then we're gonna take our emergency strap and tie it down. I think I'm gonna get a second one just for safety now that I have 2 loops. I've got 1 loop here and 1 loop here on the anchor, or on the winch stand. So I might tie one down there for force downward and one from there to there for holding it forward. Never hurts to be safe. It's just 1 extra strap, 1 thing to deal with whenever you're putting the boat back on the trailer. All right, mounted the jack for the trailer. Did not mount it here. I tried it there and got it all tightened down almost, and then I said, you know what, let me just try it here. And it turned out to be a perfect fit. Got about 1 millimeter of clearance there, and it tucks in nicely out of the way so nobody's actually accidentally kicking it here like most people walking by, or if you're carrying a cooler, putting it in the back of the car, or the kids running by. It's really easy to kick it when it's right there in the front of the trailer at the tongue. So got it there, tucks up nice underneath, and we'll keep it out of the way a lot better. So got that done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove this step and call it quits for the day. I think that's where we're gonna wrap things up. And again, all the links to this stuff, the bow stop, the U-bolts for it, I'll put in the description below. I'll also put the link in there for that heavy duty jack. I hate the ones with the wheels. This trailer had one as well. It was a heavy duty jack, but it had the wheel and it wiggles around, and those wheels never really last long. I always like the one with the feet. What I'm talking about is this guy down here. So I'll put the link for the description in the description for that as well, along with the spare tire mount and also this step and this 2-speed Fulton winch. I'll show you how this works real quick. So this knob, put it that way, it pulls in, put it this direction. It allows you to use the winch, clicks, use the gear to go out gently. Put in the middle, it's a neutral, it'll free spin. Really cool part is the 2-speed. So in order to engage the 2nd speed, which gives you a lot more torque, you barely even have to push the handle and it pulls up the boat real gently. All you do is pull this handle out and you're now in the 2nd speed. That's it. And then when you're done, you push it back in and it locks back into the 1st speed, 1st gear. I really like this Fulton winch. I'll make another video just for this and going through the details of how it works and everything, but I highly recommend it for any boat trailer, whether it's a small boat or a big boat. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this content, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave any comments or questions below, and I'll do my best to answer and help out. And see you next time.